Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Bobby. I hope you had a great weekend. All is well in the teaching world here at Horseshoe Bay Resort. I want to talk to you for just a moment about two fundamentals. This is what I'm here to provide you with. That if you have not been adhering to these fundamentals, and yet you adopt them at the conclusion of this video and go make them your own, then you can catapult yourself into the entire next category of short game mastery. If you're a C, you'll be a B plus at the very least. If you're a B, you'll be an A. And so it's worth the time, and these two fundamentals are simple. What are we trying to do when it comes to chipping? Well, we want to hit the ball cleanly. That's the most important thing. Get rid of the skull, get rid of the chunk, and hit the ball cleanly, and you find out you eliminate most of what can go wrong. And so what are we trying to do? We're trying to add to the simplicity as it relates to the way we set up to the ball and the manner in which we strike it. We want simplicity. You know, a well-formed sentence has no extra words. A drawing, no extra lines. A piece of machinery, no extra moving parts. And so we have to regard ourselves for just a moment as a piece of machinery we're designing to strike this little chip shot, and we want to do what we can to reduce the number of moving parts. And so what does that mean? Well, the first thing it has to do with our body weight. Now, with respect to reducing the number of moving parts, which of these looks simpler? Here's A, and here's B. B certainly looks simpler. And what did I do? Well, I started with my weight steady on my left foot, and I maintained that forward lean throughout the entire stroke. I pretend, and this is the visual image that has served me for 30 years, I pretend when I'm chipping that there's a wall right here on my left side between myself and the target. I lean against that wall, and I stay against it throughout the entire chipping stroke. And what I have found by doing that is that club clips the same piece of grass each and every time through. If I come off that wall even a little bit, well, now there's a good chance I could miss the shot or mishit it anyway. And so the first thing is we want to start with our weight on our left foot. That is, lean against the wall, stay there throughout the entire stroke, and that gets us into fundamental number one. All right, come on, go in the hole. Prove my point for me. All right, number two, again, thinking along the lines of reducing the number of moving parts, which of these looks like I accomplished that aim? Here's A, and here's B. Obviously, B was the stroke that involved less in the way of moving parts. We took the wrist action out. Wrist action is a source of power and or elevation. We don't need power or elevation, so we don't want to throw wrist in the mix just to give us something to synchronize, just to cause ourselves trouble. And so what I do here, see, I already gave you one mental image, that is lean against the wall and stay there. Let me give you another one. I want you to look at the very end of your golf club. There's a hole in it you're going to find. And I want you to pretend like there's a red laser beam coming directly out of that hole. And that laser beam is 10 million degrees. So if it ever points at you, you kill yourself. This thing starts left. You don't want to commit hara-kiri. You want to keep this thing left. So that the entire stroke, it's not pointed at any part of my anatomy, even at the finish. And if I've done that, I've done what? Well, I've taken the wrist action out of the shot. So no weight is on my back foot. I'm leaned toward the hole, and I'm keeping the wrist out by keeping the laser beam left. And as you can see, pretty simple way to hit a pretty fair chip shot. Okay, and so let me say it again. We are trying to do what we can to eliminate the number of moving parts. The first thing we do is we lean against the wall and stay against the wall so as to avoid any undue swaying back and forth. And number two, we've taken the wrist out of the shot. How do we do that? By getting that laser beam left of us, if self-preservation will lend a hand here, and maintaining that forward lean throughout the entire stroke. And I know that will help you folks. If I can do anything for you, you let me know, and I look forward to seeing you next week.